Hello everyone, Oliver Fan 2005 here for another Thomas Wayne Railway review. It's been quite a long time, around 4 months to be exact, but I am back. Time for my review on Bertram the Engine. Bertram was first released in 1999 in the Bertram and the Scrap Cars pack, and made his first appearance in the season 5 episode. I'm not quite sure what it's called because I am too lazy to find out what it is called. So, and he was originally going to be a tank engine like Skarloey or Rheneas, but due to budget purposes, they had to recolor their Duke model and put Smudger's face on it. People might see it as lazy, but they were on a tight budget. Anyway, the model was discontinued in 2002 thanks to Hit Entertainment. Oh, yay! Hit Entertainment, frickin' like almost destroyed the franchise, honestly. And then was reintroduced in 2012, and that's when I got my model. It is basically the exact same thing, besides that weird peg on the back, it's not there. It is still a very nice and clean model. I've had for around 5 years now, so it's kind of rugged. One of my favorite parts of this model is gotta be the roof. Like, the roofs on Thomas Wayne Railway models are some of my favorite parts of the models, besides a few others. But it's still so nice to see a really vibrant and red roof. And not to mention his domes, they're really cool. One thing I have that's really weird, though, is that it has a weird L. Just crap. Has a weird L on it. Just kind of weird. What is he, Mr. L? Anyway, yeah, besides that weird thing, it's fairly nice. One downer that I have on it is that the cab is tiny. I mean, look at it. It is just teeny weeny. And also, I'd just like to say I really like how they cut it short on the ends, which is really cool. Another thing I really like is the tall funnel and the red lining on the sides, which are really nice. Besides that, there is really nothing much to this model. It is very nice. And I don't have the scrap cars because, heck, you can hardly find 3-packs on eBay or anywhere now. So, then it was discontinued the following year in 2013. And, fun fact, so many things were re-released by Tomy. I'm just gonna say that. It is very weird how many items that they re-released. Like, Duke, they re-released the Amy Scrapyard thing? I'm not quite sure. They re-released, I think, a few others. They re-released Derek. They just re-released quite a few things that year, which is pretty cool. Now, on to 2016. Yet last year. They made the Bertram that was actually featured in the TV series. Now, this one I have quite a few issues with. Let's get the first one out of the way. The vibrant red is gone. Now, I know it's Mattel and the learning curve days are gone. Heck, even the Tomy days. But it is still really, really frustrating that they can't get really vibrant colors out. Well, besides on Oliver, which is probably the worst model. Like, not including their secondary lineup. But it is still a good model. I do like how they fixed what I said about the cab. It has been really big, but they did get rid of the cutoff area, which really sucks. Again, where is the red? Seriously, there's no red there. But I can understand that because they have a tender. More on that later. Bertram is nicely applied onto the side, which is really nice. I like the gold lettering, and yeah, it's actually just really fun. One thing I have which is kind of odd though is that the face is kind of shrunk a little bit. Like, it doesn't fully match up with the firebox or chimney. Like it just doesn't, and it's just kind of odd. It kind of reminds me of Stepney the Flying Scotsman, which is pretty good. I'll give it that. On the top, why did they get rid of the red roof? Why? One of the most vibrant pieces of the model is gone, but they also got rid of the red on the sides, which just kind of dumb. And speaking of, like, these things, I just forgot what they're called. They put them in the wrong sections. Like, let's take the older model out. Like, for example, the bigger dome, that's what it's called, is more front, is like on the front, and the smaller dome is near the back. They have it completely reversed here, which is kind of odd. And now, time to get what I consider the worst of this model. The funnel. Oh my god, what did they do to it? I mean, let's compare to it. Let's compare it to the older model. Look at this weird little shrunken head of a funnel. I mean, my god, it is tiny and so squished. It reminds me of the last sections of Take and Play before Adventures. And look at the older model. It has a nice, long funnel and is not fat, like this one. Ugh. And before I continue, I would just like to say I do like the silver lining instead of the gold lining. So, yeah, just thought I should get that out of the way. Now let's get on to the next model, I guess. The tender. There's nothing really much to say. It's just a tender. There's really nothing else to say on that. So, which one do I like more, personally? Well, I think by what I've said about the older model, I think you can tell that I like the newer model quite a bit more. It's just more vibrant, that can catch children's attention, and I think that it just had more character put into it. This model doesn't have, looks like they were just, like, sloppily making some kind of class, like, project, which is really infuriating, because Bertram was one of my favorite characters, even though he didn't get a speaking role. And I don't have a character card, so I don't know what it actually says, so sue me. And honestly, I just don't think that this model was really given the proper time and care to be made, because they kept the bunker on a engine with a tender. This one had an excuse for a bunker because this looks like the original set piece that they were trying to make, but due to budget purposes, they just couldn't. But why did they keep the bunker? It's so infuriating and so stupid. It's really, really dumb. So, at this point, I think you can tell which one I prefer. I prefer the older model. It's not the best, but I would give it an 8 out of 10. This model, though, I don't think it's really that well made. I thought it was sloppily made. But I will give it this. At least they reintroduced Bertram. At least they were able to show a new portion of kids that season 5 episode, because it was really fun. And I'll give it that. So at the most, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So, with that out of the way, have a happy Easter, everyone, and keep collecting, guys.